a distinguished descendant of a rich racing heritage. A remarkable synthesis of craftsmanship and advanced technology. An extraordinary blend of precision performance and rugged durability. The Porsche 944 series, benchmark of the modern sports car.
Our background is in 944s. That's what I was trained in.
We love 944s, and there's not really a whole lot of people doing specialized work in them, and there's nobody else doing like off-road stuff like what we're doing.
Pack up all your gear, your tent, put your bike on the back, just go out into the mountains, like wherever you would want to go on an adventure. For me, that's where the safari part of it comes into play. I worked for another shop here locally. I knew nothing about cars. And I walked in with a camera and I said, I want to be around Porsche. And so I started doing car photography. I went to an automotive tech school in Oklahoma and then just started building cars and working on them and then decided to, if I'm going to do this for my life, I want to focus on the best. So pick Porsche. I was apprenticed to a master mechanic in Tulsa, Tom Charlesworth. He had Charlesworth Performance. He was trained in Germany in the factories in the 70s. He raced cars for Porsche teams all throughout the 80s and 90s, and then he got to work on race projects for the 944 as it was developed. And then when you race cars, you inevitably break them. So just learning all of the nuances of, I can just look at this car and know exactly what's wrong with it. And he had years and years of that. And he just kind of trained me up, and I started running that shop. Really, it was my goal when I reached my 10-year mark of working on cars. I wanted to primarily focus on the 944, and I had Zach, who I had found in Tulsa and trained.
That went to my tech school who was like, hey, this guy, Daniel, he's selling this Porsche.
I had been working for a long time at the Porsche shop over there, and Zach came by with one of his friends one day.
I couldn't even drive manual.
And I had a 924S that I was selling.
Daniel was like, oh, I'll drive you around. And I'm like, talking about the car, like, oh, I saw this in a YouTube video. This is so cool. And Daniel was probably like, God, this kid's so annoying. Like, he won't shut up.
I liked Zach. He loved cars, was very passionate.
He turns around to go back around, and he just like, just punches it. And the seat had no bolts in the front, so the seat like flies back, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, I grab onto something, and it's just, whap! And when he go to shift and like fly me back up and then throw me back, it's like, wah! And he's screaming down the straight, and he's not stopping for the U. And I'm just like, I can't do this. And he goes around and like drifts the whole U, like, and he puts it in, and I get out of the car, and I'm like, I'm buying this. Like, I'm buying this right now.
And so I basically, in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna trade him this car.
And he was like, well, you need to do this and this to your car.
I'm gonna give him the parts to fix it, and if he can fix it, then I'll hire him.
I did the intake gaskets at the shop with his tools. When I did them, I was like, yeah, like, does this look good? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, does this look good? He's like, yeah, it looks great. It's like, you wanna work here? I was like, yeah, like I would love to. And he trained me, and I also worked for Tom Charlesworth. And yeah, that's how I met Daniel.
We had a huge life change whenever we decided to start this shop, my wife and I. We decided to sell the new house that we had bought and cash it out and take, whatever money we made from that and start the shop. No, it was a big challenge. So I've got 4 boys, and it's like either we succeed or we go bankrupt, So, I mean, that's a big part of what drives our shop every day. We all work hard because we're all providing for each other, and we're, you know, it's make or break as we start the shop.
Daniel really took, you know, the big like financial risk and all that, and I was just like, dude, we're gonna freaking make this work. And then that's when I quit my job, and then I moved down here.
So November 2023 was when we started building it. We officially opened in January of 2024.
I think how it started was the Safari car, this white one right here. This is the Baja Blaster. This was over like Instagram DMs basically, and Daniel was like, okay, I'm gonna go get a car. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. The next day, he messages me and he's like, hey, send me $600. For $600 for what? He's like, the car that we were talking about yesterday. It's like, were you not serious about that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I was serious about it. I was like, okay. So that car was the catalyst for like, we need to start a shop.
We didn't really know what it was going to be at the beginning, you know. And our shop is not like a whole lot of shops, you know. We are getting a large amount of work done with two of us, and we have an apprentice deacon. But we do all of the disassembly and then all of the reassembly. Because that's one of Porsche's biggest things is all the gaps have to be perfect. All the lines have to line up. Every bolt has to be original and how it was to begin with.
They're very, very unique for a Porsche. You have a transaxle, a big 4-cylinder, the transmission sits in the rear, the engine sits in the front. Everything about it is so different from Porsche at the time, but it's still very much a Porsche. I mean, you could blindfold me and stick me in one and I'd be like, this is a Porsche. Like, this is so obvious.
Really, the 944 is set up to be, you know, a car that you could work on in your garage. It's a great, like, father-son project, or get with your high school buddies and build this car. But I think it's just the shops that are willing to work on them are dwindling. So there's us and a couple other shops in the United States, and then all the other shops are basically 911 shops, which is fine, but 911 shops don't like 944s usually.
These cars have been really like neglected for a long time. We're really trying to push people to like get the right work the right way. And now a lot of these cars that you rebuild, they'll last another 40 years.
Just seeing one drive down the road, even these days, it's like a Lamborghini or something. You can't drive past one and not be like, what was that? You know, that's a cool car. And that's how they've come. And I look at them every day and they just get cooler and cooler. You know, their bodies are wide, the fenders are wide, the hips are wide. You know, if they're not safari'd out, then they're slammed on the ground, and they just look cool. They're very iconic.
Snug these down and we can check them. The 944s coming up in popularity is kind of a smaller section of like a bigger thing that's happening where vintage cars are becoming a big thing. Think about like in the 80s, what did people buy a car for? You bought a car for style, and the big thing you bought a car for was speed. You know, you think of like the Countach or like Ferraris or Lamborghini or Porsches, like 911 turbos. You bought them for speed. Like a Kia EV9 has a faster 0 to 60 time than a Carrera GT. Like, okay, well, speed is not a thing anymore. Well, what do people buy cars for now? Well, now all that's left is like soul. Old cars have something that new cars don't. A lot of new cars feel numb, they have electric steering. You just can't replicate what an old car can do. So I think a lot of people are seeing that and they're just kind of like, these old cars are really cool, like you can't get this anymore. And so 944s are just kind of coming up along with it because everybody wants a Porsche. Like everybody loves Porsche, so why not a 944? Dude, you get in the 944, you like close doors, like clunk, you stick the key in, you click it, it's like, and you can just feel it. You're using both your hands, both your feet. It really feels like you're like connected to the car. You feel every chirp of the tires, shifting the gears. You can just feel all the linkages. Feels good to get in a car where you really feel connected.
I think 944 Safari now, what it's changed into this last year, under the broad scope, it's a restoration.
Honestly, I didn't even see us being in the situation we're in right now a year ago. Like, it has grown so fast and so much. Wow, like this is crazy. I'm so blessed to be in like the position I am. If you're not necessarily like even a car person, go drive an old car. I mean, what else do you own that you see that everybody has, but nobody has what you have? If you're thinking about getting an old car, do it. Do it. Absolutely do it.
You know, I had a good teammate to start the shop with, and it was just like, you need to do it, you know? It's that whole thing, everybody talks about it, but life is short, and if you're gonna do something, go ahead and try and, you know, see if you're good at it.